This post is specifically for people that have been to prison or their loved ones. I need y'all to hear me on something really quick, because these are my thoughts about something that's been more and more on my mind lately, and something I want to speak to, especially because it's taken us out after we get free. And it's also the reason that many of us go back or don't make it to experience a life that we deserve when we were given a second chance. You see, mental illness is a very real thing. And many of us, well, we fall in love with this idea that we're okay immediately once we come home from prison, that there's some magic doorway that we walk through that takes away all the trauma that we endured and experienced while we were on the inside. Not to mention the trauma that we endured while we were probably children that we never processed, which may have been one of the catalysts or reasons that led us to prison in the first place. You see, mental illness does not get discussed enough. PTSD is very real. And to be quite honest, transparent, and true, I have not had a discussion with anyone who has not had a moment where they were feeling or had to deal with or, just go face to face with PTSD, whether it manifested in the form of an anxiety attack, etc. Always. And it's typically the individuals that think they're above it that end up being impacted by it the most. Ask me how I know. Because one of the main things I told my wife prior to me coming home, because I got married before I came home from prison, and she told me prison is easy compared to the real world. I remember I got upset because I didn't want to hear that, because I was convinced and I needed to know that the real world when I came home from prison would be easy and not hard, because I needed a break from prison. But I came home 3 months before the pandemic, January 13th, 2020. There was no normalcy. There was no foundation. And more specifically, even without the pandemic, for individuals that are coming home now, problems like never before are all around us. It's present. And that's why it's important to focus on your mental health prior to you coming home. And if you are home now, if your loved one's home, get on it immediately. Problems will always arise. And that's why it's important for individuals to prepare themselves mentally and give themselves an opportunity to process the traumas that they've been through, strengthen themselves, maybe even form a recovery plan, get the help that they need, look for it, advocate for it. Because if you don't, it does not matter what you obtain in this life. No amount of money, no promotion at a job, no relationship. If your mind is not right, you will eventually lose it or potentially squander it, etc. or more, because those hits will keep coming. So to anybody that's seeing this, if you're impacted by prison, please take heed to my words. I'm not anybody that knows any more than you. I'm just somebody that's lived through experience. I almost lost it all myself when I came home from prison and simply wasn't ready. I'm going to be talking more about mental illness. So please, man, share this post with anybody that you know needs to get to this type of content and hear this message, man. Stay free. Peace.